Hello fellow travelers and adventurers and explorers. Today I am doing the Adidas women's hiking boots, and I believe that it is called the Terrex. So first of all, I like to go over the way that a shoe looks, and as I've said before in other videos, for me I'm really looking for a lot of dual purposing, and I really appreciate things that look very sleek and simple because I like to wear, hiking gear out into the city when I'm traveling and not feel like I'm just a backpacker walking through or something like that. So I like people to not be able to tell that I'm in hiking gear when I'm out and about. So I think that overall these shoes do a decent job of looking pretty streamlined and sleek. There is, I know that's the Adidas symbol, but it sort of just makes it a little bit more busy, and I'm kind of not a huge fan of that. Also, I thought these shoes were black, but the more that I've looked at these shoes, it almost seems like right here might be more of a navy or something, so I'm a little confused by that. But overall, I do like the way that these shoes look. Let's talk about some of the features with this shoe. So first of all, it has a lot of tread on the bottom, which is really, really great. So I have not slipped once in these shoes. They have really decent, good grip on them. And then also these shoes are waterproof. So I probably will not buy another hiking shoe unless it does have a waterproof feature. And waterproof means that you actually can submerge these shoes. Again, it's going to have to be a shallow lake or creek or stream or something like that, because you can't really go too high. I think you only can go maybe about here with the submersion, because otherwise if you go too high, then it does get into where your sock is. They are waterproof though, and I really like that feature. Again, I like that it has a pull tab on the back, so that way you can really get your foot in there. So let's talk about fit and comfort with these shoes. I would say that overall these shoes are really, really comfortable actually. It seemed like the first few times that I wore them, granted I went on really short hikes, I just couldn't believe how comfortable these shoes were. And these shoes have a nice wide toe box. And so I think that that's really a good feature of this shoe. In terms of the cushion with these shoes, I would say that they're a little on the firm side. There is a bit of a squish to them, but it's not like a super squishy shoe. I wouldn't say that it's super firm, but it also isn't super squishy. So for me, it was kind of right in the middle, which is fine. I think you could change out the inserts though if you really wanted to get a better squish. And with waterproof shoes, sometimes can have some breathability issues, but it is GORE-TEX, and GORE-TEX does tend to be pretty breathable. I haven't worn these shoes yet in extreme temperatures, but I did go on a semi-warm hike and my feet seem to be okay, so I would anticipate these shoes to be at least a little bit breathable. Maybe if it's super hot, then there might be a little bit of an issue. So I don't know that these shoes really have a break-in period, and if you don't have extremely bony ankles, then you're probably going to be a-okay. But for me, again, it's the bony ankle thing. For some reason, always it's either right foot or left foot, but on these shoes in particular, it was the right ankles that just got destroyed when I did a hike that was over 7 miles long. And I've tried different socks and stuff, and we can talk about socks in another video. But it just, I don't know, it required a break-in period for the ankle part, but it was only on one foot, not on the other foot. So strange. The sizing. So as I've mentioned before, I typically wear a women's size 6 USA size quite consistently. It is very rare that that is not my size. However, in these shoes, I did order a 6 and they were huge. So I went down to a 5.5 US size, and that does seem to be better. At first I was kind of like, oh, are these still a little bit too big? But the 5.5 does seem to be working quite nicely for me. So in terms of how long I've had these shoes, I've only had them for a few months, and I have gone on some pretty lengthy hikes. I am a pretty avid hiker, and so I've used them so far. It does seem like the tread is holding up quite nicely. I haven't had any issues, like I said, with slipping or not having traction. I actually really love these shoes. I do like the way that they look when I'm hiking. Like I said, my issue really would be the duality of they don't necessarily look fully like street shoes, but they're close enough. And so, yeah, and they're really comfortable. So what is the rating that I would give these shoes out of 5 stars? And for me, these shoes are going to get a 4.5, if not a 5. I think really the thing is the ankle rubbing is kind of annoying, and I didn't like that I really had to, deal with that. But I went on a hike recently. Granted, it was a shorter hike, and it didn't hurt my ankle at all. So I don't know if I finally have reached the break-in point, or if it just wasn't long enough of a hike to cause me any kind of pain. And then the other reason for the 1/2 star missing is I do feel like these shoes, the way that they look, are slightly hikey looking or backpack looking, and I would prefer them to be maybe a little bit more sleek looking. So that kind of takes away just a little bit for me. And then also, for some reason, it does seem like I can't bring the water up very high with these shoes. So I have another pair, which is the North Face, and before they stopped working, I was able to submerge those shoes quite high. And these ones only, like I said, seem to be maybe to that first lace, and then they kind of take on a little bit of water, and I'm not really sure why, because it does look like the cutoff point is up here. So I'm not really sure what was up with that, but I will continue wearing these shoes and let you know. Would I buy these shoes again? So far, most definitely. I really do like these shoes, and I would really actually recommend these shoes to someone who's looking for a comfortable boot that also has the waterproof capabilities. So if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below and I will answer those. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and I will see you later.